Hey, this is Tish Griffin here with you. I am back again on behalf of Family Credit Management Services, and I'm really excited to share with you everything that we've come across over the past few weeks. And again, I'm here. We're going to talk about money, finances, debt, all of those subjects that you may have questions about. Now, if during this time I'm not able to answer your questions, or you need more help, I want you to reach out to Family Credit at 800-994-3328 or go to their website, familycredit.org. I want you to use Family Credit as a trusted resource because, yes, they're there, available. Counselors are standing by to answer all of those questions that you may have. And you may say, I don't even want to talk to anyone. I don't like talking to anyone. You can go on the website and you can chat with a counselor. You can just go ahead, type in your quick questions. They can give you some resources. They can give you answers and help you through those problems because you never know what you're going through, that someone can help you. And that's the part that I want you to know, that you're not alone. There are trusted resources around, and Family Credit is one of them. So reach out, use them, and get the questions answered that you may have. They can help you with your debt, your finances, establishing a budget, and going over your credit. How great are they? So again, reach out. Right now, we are in the time where everyone is looking to file their taxes and get a income tax refund. Everyone's excited about that. I hear people saying, like, I'm waiting on my tax refund because then I'm going to go and do something that I've always wanted to do. I'm going to take a vacation. I'm going to buy a car. I'm going to just live, and use this refund to do that. But I do want to caution you that when you are looking to get those tax refunds, we're going to take a few moments. We're going to talk about that on some things that you should do to make sure that you are financially stable, financially sound, and putting yourself in a better position, okay? Also, remember that the deadline for filing taxes is coming up. You want to make sure you have everything in by April 15th. If you do not, if you know you can't do it, if you're still waiting for some of your tax forms to show up, or you just don't have the time, then you want to go ahead and you want to file an extension. And it's something that's really easy to do. You can talk to a tax accountant. You can talk to a tax preparer. Or you can go to the IRS's website. That's right, you can do that, irs.gov, and you want to file an extension request. The purpose of doing this is going to save you some stress. It's going to save you money and a little bit of time, and allow you some more time to work on your actual tax returns. A lot of times we think that, with the taxes and everything that we do, again, a lot of people are looking forward to the refunds, but guess what? There are certain people, kind of like me, business owners, entrepreneurs, people that are still trying to figure out exactly what we did, what we spent, everything like that last year, that just need a little bit more time. So that's why if you are in that position, you want to take some time and file an extension right now. It only takes a few seconds to submit electronically as well. So look for ways to do that, ways that are free, and you can do it on your own. Go to the IRS's website to find out more help, or reach out to a taxpayer advocate, which you can find through the IRS's website as well. Now, when we're thinking about this big refund that we're going to get, and a lot of people are like, okay, I'm going to just buy a car. I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to get the money that I need for that. The problem with that mentality is that we are banking on money that we don't have. And so I want you to think about it this way. When you get your IRS refund, yes, it's great, but you also want to put it in your mind that it may not happen right away. It may not come through. There could be things that will cause it to be delayed. And so you want to make sure you prepare yourself for those delays so that you're not upsetting yourself. Again, this is money that you have not operated with all year long. This is something additional to your paycheck. So you want to treat it as such. And take that time to know that, hey, this might not come back. They promised that I'll have it back in 2 weeks. There's a big chance that it doesn't happen. And that's how you want to structure whatever your plans are around the fact that this extra bulk of money may not come in. Also, you want to make sure that you're communicating. If you're not doing your taxes yourself, you want to make sure that you communicate with your tax preparer. Make sure that they know everything about you, about your expenses, about what you're doing, about what your goals are even for that refund. A lot of times what people don't think about is how the tax transcripts, how all of this plays into effect, how filing your taxes affects you in the future. Case in point, if you are looking to buy a home, most of the time your mortgage lenders will need your most recent tax returns. A lot of times they need 2 years, but in certain cases, they may actually need 3 years worth of your tax returns, right? So when you think about that, they're going to be looking at how you filed, the amount that you filed, and especially the income that you filed on your tax returns. The purpose of them asking for this information is to be able to justify that, yes, you made the amount that you put on your application. Now, sometimes in certain instances, what will happen is sometimes people will say, hey, let's look at some deductions. And instead of looking at what can be deducted from your income the right way, sometimes people may be a little bit more creative. They may make things up, but this is not something that you should be doing. Okay? Keep in mind that everything that you submit to the government, you do need to prove that you do at some point. Again, this could cause a delay in your refund. So I've heard in the past, I've heard that some people, what they will do is say that they had a side business or a side hustle, and therefore they tried to do this. It didn't work. So they're going to look at what they have and take a loss and say that even though I tried to start a business, it didn't work. I ended up losing money. So I'm going to just show that as a loss on my tax returns. That happens, it's filed, and so the IRS accepts it. Okay, we see that, this person, they made $60,000 a year at their regular W-2 job, the one that they get their pay stubs for. It shows that they made $60,000, but this person also said that they had a side business that they tried to start, and they lost money on it, and they lost up to $20,000. Now, you may think that that's not a big deal. In that case, it might even get you a bigger refund on the front end. But if you go and apply for a mortgage, what's going to happen is they're going to look at your income and say, hey, we need your tax returns. You give them your tax returns. And they say, yes, your pay stubs may say you get $60,000 a year, but when we looked at your tax refund, it says you only get 40. And you say, oh, well, no, I just did that for the taxes. I really didn't have a business, or I do this on my side. I do hair on the side. And so I do have a extra hustle, but I showed it as a loss just for taxes. But in that case, it would totally affect your ability to buy a house, because your loan officer, the person that you're working with to get that mortgage, they have to take that as a loss against your current income now. So instead of showing that, yes, you do make $60,000 consecutively every year, and we can verify that with your employer, when they go to verify with the IRS, they see that $40,000. So now we have to subtract that $20,000 loss from your income when you go to qualify for a home, and now you qualify for less home, or you don't qualify enough because now your income does not support the debt that you do have. So in those cases, we want to keep things like that from happening with you, which is why I stress the fact that if you have an accountant, a tax preparer, someone that's helping you with your taxes, make sure you communicate this with them. Make sure you let them know what's going on, and let them know what your goals for the future are. That's part of you being financially fit, financially sound, and financially stable. Because if you're looking to make a big purchase like a home in the future, you definitely want to be able to qualify, and you want to do everything that you have to do in order to make that happen. The same goes into play if you are self-employed. Now, with self-employed income, what happens is you actually keep track of everything that you make in the course of a year, all of your expenses. You're keeping track of your gas, your mileage, those things that are affecting your career path. If you're a photographer, you're keeping track of all the pictures that you take, where you had to travel to take those pictures. You're keeping track of the amount of money that you spent on equipment, on everything that you need, on printing, on marketing, all of this. And then you are going to report that when it's time to do your taxes. Again, self-employed income takes a little bit longer to go through, I know, because we've got to sit and go through everything we did the past year and make sure that we report it correctly. And again, a lot of times in those instances, when you are a business owner, when you're looking to start a business, when you're looking to keep a business going, no matter what, a lot of times there are losses that we don't even account for. Things that happen, things that try, and you just lose money on them. It's a part of life. It's a part of being an entrepreneur. But it's also something that a lot of times you should reflect on your tax returns when you go to file your income tax returns as a self-employed consumer. When that happens in that instance, again, that has to be taken into account if you're going to do something like purchase a home. So if there's something that you want to do in the future and you know this is something you want to do, you need to communicate that with your tax preparer up front, because they're looking to save you money. They're looking so that you don't have to pay out an arm and a leg. Because as a self-employed person, as a self-employed consumer, it's your responsibility to account for all of the income taxes that the IRS should be receiving. And for the most part, we're thinking about, 30 to 35% of everything that we make should technically be set aside. But a lot of times as entrepreneurs and taking those loss after loss, we know that even though that desire is there, sometimes the money isn't. So again, we want to be able to communicate that to those that are helping us and say, hey, I know this is my tax return, but in the future, I do want to buy a home. Because at the end of the day, whatever amount that you report to the IRS, that's the amount that the lenders will need to use to qualify your income. So if you're self-employed and you show that you have negative income, I'm not even let's say you did actually bring in $80,000. You did it pretty good for yourself. The last year you brought in $80,000, but guess what? You had $79,000 worth of expenses, meaning losses, keeping track of all the material that you need, everything that you use, all the meals, the travel, all the hours, all of that, and it came out to $79,000. Guess what? On your tax return, it will show that your income is a whopping $1,000. That means everything that you worked for last year, all you made was $1,000. This is submitted to the IRS. The IRS verifies it and says, okay, we know that that's all you made. We're good. But guess what? When you go to buy that home, there's no way you will qualify for a home, because now, guess what? Your income is $1,000 annually. You can't get a house for $1,000 annually, no matter how low your debt to income ratio is. So that's why if you are self-employed, you are working with your accountant, stay in contact with them during the year, stay in contact with them as often as possible, submit information to them that they need to go ahead and do a tax return the correct way for you. But if your goals are home ownership or making a huge purchase for your business, let them know. Another reason why we say that is because a lot of times the things that we purchase have value, especially if you're self-employed. Anytime you purchase an asset for your business, it has value. But every year that value goes down less and less. Kind of like when you buy a car. We know the moment that we buy a car, it could be shiny, pristine, brand new, $50,000 car. By the time you drive it off the lot, just lost $20,000 worth of value. That's just how fast things happen. But with your taxes, with your income taxes, when you go to file, certain assets you can depreciate over time. Meaning, instead of saying that it lost all this value at once, we're going to say the value went down for a course of maybe 5 years or so. And this is how much we're going to place the value on each and every single year. Now, your accountant will be able to handle that for you. So you don't even have to worry about trying to figure all of that out. But you need to let them know what you bought. Save those receipts, because yes, we do need proof. They need proof that that's what you purchased and that it does go towards your business. Also, some of the deductions that you can also write off are things that help your business, such as Where do you hold your office? Do you work from home? Do you rent out space? These are things that can be taken into account when you file your taxes as well, and they can be used for deductions. Deductions, again, will lessen the amount of taxes that you need to pay back. If you've got some problems or questions or you're not sure about any of this, you can reach out to a counselor at Family Credit at 800-994-3328 or go online, familycredit.org. They can help you figure out your income, your budget, and work over things for you so that you are able to afford those things that you need to. They can provide you with resources in the community, in your area as well, and they can help you figure out how to talk to your creditors, how to get things under control if you are having issues with that. Okay, back to the taxes, filing your taxes, being self-employed, and making sure that you are taking the right amount of deductions. Again, it all starts with communicating, and finding the right person that works for you too. Sometimes, if you are looking for someone to do your taxes or file your taxes for you, it is a good idea to go ahead and interview those people that say that they can help you. Figure out what it is that they can actually do. Figure out what it is that they specialize in. Have they worked with self-employed borrowers before if you're self-employed? If you're W-2, do they know how much you need to qualify for certain deductions? Are they allowing you to itemize everything on there? And are they taking into account all the receipts that you have or you may not have? Do you feel comfortable sharing that information with them? So those are questions that you want to make sure that you ask, that you get out of the way, okay? A lot of times we try and do things ourselves, or we're trying to get the biggest refund possible back. And we want to make sure that we take some time and invest in the right person that will help us, because at any given moment, we don't know. Our returns can be flagged at the IRS for an audit. And if that happens, when those audit requests take place, you will have to provide them with certain information. And also, the person that helped you prepare your taxes should take some responsibility and help you guide through that as well. So you want to make sure that you can stay in contact with them, that they have your best interest at heart, and they'll be there for you to get that information that you need and support you throughout the year. And of course, you want to be able to go back to them next year. So keep all of this information in mind. If you have not filed your taxes, work on doing so, but find someone trusted that you can work with. And you can also go to the IRS directly and find someone as well. They keep a list on their website of those people that are accredited, that have the certification needed to be able to help you through your taxes. So, great place to start. Now, once you get that refund, you want to make sure that you are not using it you're not blowing it, honestly. You want to make sure that you can save some of it. You want to make sure that you think about your budget, think about those things that you wanted to accomplish last year, but you haven't. And you want to put some boundaries, restrictions, and goals in place as it relates to your tax refund. A lot of times when we get money, we get excited. We don't know what to do. We want to do everything first. We want to just go out and spend. So we're gonna buy this. We're gonna buy a TV. We're gonna buy a computer, a laptop, new phone, AirPods, whatever it is that we may be thinking about. And then we realize all that spending, we don't really have much left. First things first, always work on paying yourself when you're establishing your budget, when you're going back through it, and when you have an influx of cash. You want to pay yourself, but paying yourself doesn't just mean monetary, let me take some money, let me spend it on myself. No, you want to look at ways to make yourself better and to strengthen your financial situation. So if you're paying yourself first, now we want to look at establishing an emergency savings account. That'd be one way that we can put something to the side just in case. Again, rule of thumb, you want to have 6 months to a year worth of your income sitting in an account so that if something were to happen, you can fall back on the money there. So not only do we want to make sure that we're starting to contribute to that, but we want to look at ways that we can grow and invest that amount. And sometimes that just means looking at different vehicles for that, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Again, you want to vet out what you can do with the money. You can look at Family Credit's website. You can go online, chat with a counselor, or call 800-994-3328. And guess what? Their website has a bunch of different tools that you go on to help you with your budgeting, help you with your goals as well, because this was what it is. This is a goal to use your money responsibly. And it starts first with acknowledging that I don't want to blow it. I've got this money. I want to be able to grow it. I want to be able to have it for the rest of the year. And it starts right now with me making that conscious mindset decision to, yeah, I'm going to do things differently this time. I'm not going to rush out, and I'm not going to make judgment call. I'm not going to do unnecessary spending. I'm not going to blow my budget. I'm going to discipline myself. This time, we're going to do things differently. So when your mind begins to shift, you can go from, okay, these impulsive buys will stop right now. I'm going to use this money. Let me start saving. And we're going to see the amount that we have. What are some ways that we can make it grow? What are we okay with? What are we comfortable putting off to the side? And it really just depends on you. Each person's number is different, but I want you to do something. No matter what your refund is, take some time and figure out how you will divide that up. Now, after you've paid yourself, then we want to see what we can do. You may have some old debt that you want to look at. You may have some ways you want to clean up your credit report. You may have those things that you still want to buy. Or if you're a business owner, some things that you may want to do to strengthen your business. So we want to allocate certain amounts to that. First off, go through your monthly budget and see at your budget, is there any sort of deficit? Look at your budget and see if anything is missing. See if your budget is negative. And now we want to figure out why. Because if your budget is negative, especially because of debt, we've got some ways that you can handle your debt. Use this money responsibly to clear up some of that and still be able to invest for yourself in the future as well. So again, reach out to a counselor. They know how to work with those creditors. Pull your credit report will be your next step, because now we want to account for everything that's on our credit report, making sure that everything is in good standing. And a lot of times when you pull your credit report, you may see that negative accounts have popped up. I had someone that I was working with this week. They said, hey, I've got a score of 720. I'm so excited. I can qualify for a home. I can do this. I can go make this purchase because my score is 720. But then when we actually pulled their score, the score was a little bit under 5. A little bit under 600. It was about 5 something. So anything can happen at any given time. And for this consumer, just letting you know, yes, the score was a 720. Went through everything, but what happened was a collection agency popped up on his credit for $90. That's not even a lot of money, right? $90 took his score from a 720 to in the 5s. Just that quick. Now, if you're not monitoring your report, you don't know these things are happening, then it can affect you. And you look at your report again, you're like, oh my God, what happened? That's part of making sure that you have this emergency savings account, that you're keeping yourself financially fit and stable, because guess what? Now you need to start looking at your report a little bit more and making sure throughout the year that when these things first happen, you can attack right then and there. You don't have to wait. You don't have to catch yourself by surprise, because again, this person is thinking that they can go out and get anything they want, waiting on this tax refund to come in and they'll be all set. But no, now we've got to go back, look at the credit and see, how do we get these accounts paid off? How do we get that collection taken care of, especially for the $90? But we don't just want to pay it. We want them to remove it because it affected the score so badly. That's over 100-point drop. So yes, in that instance, you want to hurry up, get that account taken care of and ask them to remove it. And the way that you do that, using some of this money that you just got back from your tax refunds. You want to use it responsibly. We know in this instance, should I pay for an account that's on my credit report? And in that instance, you want to look at the creditors that have just popped up, the ones that are most recent within the last 2 years, and that would be your plan of action. Anything else can stay there. We see it. We're not going to worry about it now, because the ones that are affecting your scores are the ones that happened most recently. If you want a strategy, you need to build a strategy, please reach out to a counselor at Family Credit, because they can help you with that. Go over your credit report with you. Set the priority of importance for you to go ahead and make your score better and become more financially fit, stable, and sound. We're going to increase your credit score by even just taking this little money that you have available and directing it towards some of these accounts to get everything cleared up. Again, keep in mind, when you're thinking about clearing up your credit, It's something that you can do on your own if you have the right people helping you and the right strategy behind you. So go ahead, give them a call and figure something out. Don't be afraid to talk to them. Don't be afraid to share with them your experiences, what you're going through, your debt, and how much you have to work with. They have those relationships with the creditors. And then you sit down and you figure out your strategy of what is going to make things better for you. That's the most important. So again, when you're looking at those creditors, you're looking at the money that you have, and now it becomes a needs versus wants thing as well, because you're trying to determine, what should I do with this extra money? Should I put it towards my debt? Should I buy something different? Should I invest it? What's my strategy? What's my plan of action? And that's why you need help, and other professionals can help you with that. I'm going to challenge you, check out Family Credit's website at familycredit.org. And if you need any help, feel free to call a counselor at 800-994-3328. Hopefully this information was helpful for you. Go ahead, get that extension in if you have not filed your tax returns. If you know you're not going to be able to do it within the next few weeks, or if you are self-employed, reach out, get that extension going. It only takes a few seconds for you to do that. All right, we'll look for you again. Check us out again, familycredit.org. Take care.